Hello, everybody. This is Leanna, and it is a party. We're going to look at how you make some really fun birthday cards, decorations, party crown that you could have in coordinating colors, matching for a birthday party. It's going to be so much fun. So I will quickly show you how to make a birthday card like this, but before we do that, we're going to make a party crown. So that is going to be a ton of fun. So a paper crown would make a great kids craft for a party that you could work on together, or you could simply make a crown for the birthday girl or boy or one of your colleagues. Tons and tons of fun. So let me just spotlight my workspace so you'll be able to see what it is that I'm doing. And let me just go here. There you go. So make sure that you'll be looking at my space. So again, we're going to start out making a paper party crown. How much fun is that? And we'll be using the Party Time collection from Creative Memories. So I've got my collection all set, organized here together. I wanted to show you what comes with this collection. So to start with, if you're making scrapbook pages, which, if you have a birthday party or you're taking lots of pictures, you could actually have scrapbook pages that coordinate with your invitations, your party hat, the things that you'll be making. So that's lots of fun. These are the Fast to Fab pre-designed pages, so they've already got borders and designs. You just tape your paper or your pictures, photos on there. Really quick way to make scrapbook pages. The Party Time collection also has the Party Time blue paper pack, and you'll see these are really kind of much more adult or masculine. They have paper that says happy birthday through these brown and blue themes. Some of this would also be great for New Year's Eve or other celebrations, or even for a little boy's birthday party. So that's tons of fun. And then what I'm going to be using to make my hat, and what I used on that card that I showed you, is the Party Time bright paper pack. And you'll see we've got all sorts of fun polka dot, happy birthday balloons, all sorts of party themed things. So we'll be using that to help decorate our hat, and it was used on the card that I showed you earlier. I'll be using just one simple scrap on the hat of this really nicely textured yellow paper. It's lots of fun. You'll see why I chose that later. But we'll also be using from the Party Time pack these really nice border stickers. So you've got some that say happy birthday. So again, I'll be using this on the hat. You could use it on your scrapbook pages. So these are just quick and easy ways to decorate your pages. But you could also use these Party Time sprinkle stickers. So you've got cupcakes, things that say surprise, birthday candles, all sorts of fun things to decorate your pages and cards. So we'll be using those a little bit later. And the Party Time pack also comes with embellishments. So these are kind of pre-cut out words and designs. So you see here, happy birthday. Again, that would work really well on a card or a scrapbook page. And then we also have these map packs. So you could use those to design cards out of, use them on your scrapbook pages. You could cut pieces of them out also if you wanted to. That would be a lot of fun. So that's the Party Time pack with Creative Memories. So in addition, you'll just need for the base of your birthday crown a piece of cardstock, so 12 by 12. I've picked this lovely aqua blue, and then to stick with the kind of primary color themes, you just need some scraps of 3 other colors. So I've got red, I've got goldenrod, and I've got this scrap of leaf green. So I'm going to be setting those aside. We'll be using those in a little bit. And then the tools that you will need, the cake punch. So you'll notice on the birthday card that we have these great punched out cakes across the card. So we'll also be using this for the top of our party crown. I'm also going to use this really great punch that has gifts on it. So you could use this for a Christmas page, a birthday page, any kind of celebration, or you could just use the cake punch, and you could do double layers of that or use stickers. So we'll need our repositional tape runner, and that you're going to need because when you tape on these little cutout pieces that are more intricate, you need to use the repositional tape runner. It allows you to get tape just on those pre-cut pieces of paper, but doesn't get any tape between the cutout parts. I'm also going to use my regular tape runner with Creative Memories for some of the edges where I'm taping the crown together to make sure that it's very sturdy. And then my micro tip scissors will also be used. So to start out though, we need the fundamental tool that all scrapbookers and card makers need, and that is our 12-inch trimmer. So we're going to start out by making the base of the party hat out of the aqua blue. So all the cardstock usually comes in 12 by 12. We'll need to cut this down to 10 by 12. So you want to make sure that you have your straight blade in. That's the blue blade in the cartridge. And then we're going to put the ruler out, make sure the little kick foot is down. And you'll see across the top of the Creative Memories 12-inch trimmer, you actually have a ruler. So we're going to use that. And yep, that's my phone. We're just going to let it go because you can hear it because I'm using that phone to videotape. So that's very bad timing. Okay, so again, we'll just put in our paper. We're going to line it up to the 10-inch mark. Put the arm down on our trimmer. We just press gently. Oop, what did I do? I think I didn't have my blade in all the way. Let's just try that again, people. So there you go. Put it the 10-inch mark. Put the arm down, and I think maybe I had my scarf stuck in there. Press down and cut. So we get this neat straight cut. You can set that scrap aside. We won't be using that. And then we have our 10 by 10 paper. Now what we're going to do is cut this in half. So we have two 5 by 5 pieces, and those will get taped together to make the crown. But what I want to do to make this a little bit festive is use one of the fancy blades. So underneath of your 12-inch trimmer, you have a place to store all these different blades, a perforating blade, you've got a scoring blade, which allows you to make folds without cutting through, perfectly straight folds. But I'm actually going to use the purple scallop blade. So you can see here that it's going to make just a little wavy cut along the edge. So to replace your blade, you just lift up the top. The nice thing about these blades is that the blade actually is disengaged and not sticking out, so it's 100% safe. The blade only comes out once it's in the cartridge and the lid is shut. So we're going to go ahead and put in our scallop blade, close the cartridge. Now, again, we want this paper to be perfectly cut in half, so we're going to put it at the 5-inch mark. That'll give us two 5-inch pieces. And we'll just gently run our blade, make sure we have it cut in half. And so you'll see that I have these two halves that have this great kind of festive scallop cut along the end. So we can go ahead and set our 12-inch trimmer aside. And this then, those scalloped edges are going to be the bottom of your crown. And so what we're going to do now, we want to cut something fancy and fun out of the top of our crown. And so I'm actually going to do that using the cake punch border. So to use your cake punch border, you just want to disengage, open up your punch. Okay, so we'll start out with one of these. Then you'll notice on the front of your punch, you have a black mark. And so what you're going to want to do is make sure that you line your paper up right around that black mark to get started. And that's just to make sure that you get the edge starting along the border punch where you need it. So again, put your edge right on that black mark that you saw. I usually like to just kind of hold down to make sure that I'm keeping my paper straight and give it a good punch. Now what you'll do is just slide your paper down. And you'll see here that you have an outline of the cutout. So what you want to do is line up your paper on that outline so you don't see any of the blue. And again, I just kind of hold my finger over here to make sure I keep it along the edge. And again, just slide. punch, slide, punch, and we have one more, slide, and punch. So we can actually move that aside. I'm going to try to keep my workspace neat, so I'm going to just use my wastebasket and get that punch poop off the table. So you'll see this is going to be a really super fun party crown. All right, so this will be the top, but because this 12 inches isn't big enough for my head or anybody's head for that matter, we're going to go ahead and punch 2 of these. Now, I have already punched a second piece of this, so you don't have to watch me redo that. And what we want to do, just make sure that you have the little wicks, so you'll see the little birthday candle flame kind of curves to one direction. So you want to make sure that you have those going in the same direction. Now, I'm also then going to take my scissors before I get started, and I'm going to cut off on one of the pieces of paper. I'm going to cut off 2 of the end cakes, and you can just use your micro tip scissors, do a little snip here, a little snip there. Can set that aside because you can use that for something else. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to do a little snip on the edge and another little snip. And what that'll do when we go to actually tape these together, we will just then have that piece of the paper overlap and it'll line up with the cake on the other side. So you've got these base pieces of your crown ready. Now we're going to do something similar to what we did on this birthday card, which is we want to have some alternating colors. So get some really fun pops of color in. And so that's why we had those scraps of the other colors of paper. So we're going to actually punch those once again. So we can just set our pieces of crown up here and get our cake punch back. And again, I was going to use yellow and red. I've already punched those again, so you don't have to sit and do that. But I have this scrap of green that I want to punch to give me some green cakes. Now, one thing you're going to notice when you have smaller pieces of paper and you go to use the border punch, when I put this in, my paper is shorter and I can't necessarily see if it's aligned with that black line. So I'm going to show you a quick trick. We're just going to take a Post-it note. And I'm going to align that Post-it note on the edge of the paper, just so it's straight with the paper. And that way, when I put my paper in the punch, I just line the Post-it note up. So you'll see here, I've got the Post-it note. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see that, but I've got the Post-it note aligned with that black line. So we'll just go ahead, stick our green piece of paper in there, punch. And then once you've done the first punch, you can actually just remove that because you then use the cake to line up here. So punch again, line up your cake, punch again, line up your cake. It's actually the cupcake we're aligning on, so that's quite fun. And then do the last piece. Okay, so that gives us a green piece. And again, I've done this already with the yellow and red. And then what I'm going to do is take my micro tip scissors. So hopefully you can see this. And I'm just going to cut along the edge. And you can just use the edge of the paper as a guide. So we'll cut a few of these cakes off. Here, I just cut straight between the 2 cakes. I don't worry a whole lot about that. And then I'm just going to, again, cut these in pieces. Okay, so I've done that with a number of them. And then what we're going to do, surprise, this was done already, but we're going to take our repositionable tape runner and then we're going to alternate colors along the top of the crown to give it this really fun, colorful look. So again, I've already done this piece. And so, you know, again, we'll be layering this crown here. So you'll want to follow the color pattern along. And again, I'm going to flip this. I want to make sure that my little candles are curving. These are going in the same direction. And so, you know, the way the color has been going is blue, green, red, yellow, blue, green, red, yellow. So I've got a red. So I'm going to want to do a yellow. So I have my little piles of pre-cut cakes here. So I need a yellow cupcake. So I'll just find a yellow cupcake. Now what you want to do before you put the tape on, this is probably the trickiest part, but you want to make sure that you have this going in the same direction. So let me hold this up so you can see with the cupcake that the top kind of curves to my left. So if you put this on this way, the blue, they'd be going opposite directions. I don't know if you can see that, and the blue would be sticking through. So you want to make sure that you get your cupcake in the right direction. So I know it's going to go this way. So make sure that I put my repositionable tape on the yellow cupcake. Now with the repositionable tape runner, it just puts these tiny little almost invisible dots down. And so the dots will go on where there's paper, but it will not stick where there's not paper. Now usually I'll put a piece of plastic or scrap paper or something underneath so I don't get this on my surface. However, I'm very lucky. I have this bamboo desktop and it does not stick to that. So I can just go ahead and you want to make sure you get the tops and the bottoms covered. And then you're just going to align those. And if you don't get it quite straight, that's okay because it's repositionable and I did not. I'm terrible at getting things straight. You could just peel it back up. That is what the beauty of that repositionable tape runner. Put that back down. So again, you know, we're going blue, green, red, yellow. So blue is the next one. We don't have to put anything down because the blue will shine through. So we want to go green. So I'm going to look in my pile of green cakes that I've just cut apart for the 3-tiered cake. So again, I've got that. And I want to make sure that I have it going in the same direction. And I'm going to tape that down. So blue, green, red. So I need a little red cupcake. Here it is. Again, going in the right direction. Put some tape on it. After red is yellow, and I need the 2-tiered cake with little stripes up top. So again, you want to make sure those stripes are going the right direction. And let me just tape this. So again, blue. So next, after the blue, you want green. So get myself a green cupcake that I've already cut apart. Slide that off. Make sure it's going the right direction. And if you get one going the right direction, don't worry. If you're using the repositionable tape, you can just pull it up, toss it out because, you know, it'll be sticky on one side and use another. So it's just paper. So after that, we need red. So we're going to get our little 2-tiered red tape. I love these repositionable tape runners. They are really just amazing. Because I am a little bit particular and I like my thing to be straight, but I don't always get them done straight the first time. So I love the fact that I can just pick up the paper, reposition it, put it back down. It does become harder, you know, it'll become more solid or more solidified as tape after about 2 weeks. So you can move it while you're working on it, but a few days later, you won't be able to do that. So we've got blue, we've just got a couple more to go. So after blue, we need green. So we need a green double-tiered cake. I'm just gonna slide that off. Okay, it goes in that direction. And then red, triple-tiered. Do we have a red triple-tiered? Yes, here we go. And that goes in that direction. And our last bit of cake then is supposed to be blue, but I'm not going to want to have, you'll notice the other end is blue. I'm not going to want to have 2 blues together. So I might just go ahead and put a little yellow cupcake down there. One slightly out of order, but I think that's okay. Maybe it was supposed to, actually it was supposed to be yellow after red anyway. So I had it right. There you go. So you could just now go ahead, and again, you have these ends with no cake, so that's where you'll do the overlap to tape. you could just tape it together and this would be a fun birthday crown. But I'm going to make mine a little more fancy. So I have, you could actually just use more of these cakes and put another cake border on here if you wanted. That would be really fun. But I've decided I want to go ahead and use this present punch to make a border. So I actually am going to need 2 of those. So what we're going to do is punch. So again, you just want to make sure that you line that up. And sometimes those little bows get stuck, so you just want to be careful you don't tape it, especially if you're using this thinner designer paper. So again, make sure your blue design is covered up. I love these border punches. So they make great borders for your scrapbook pages. So much fun, and just so many different ways you can punch things and then cut them out separately. Just so many different ways that you can use these. So again, trying to be neater than I usually am, I'm going to just get that punch poo off the table. So I've actually got this really great row of presents. And then what I'm going to do is use my 12-inch trimmer to cut off a base. I'll be able to tape that down. I'm going to use the scallop punch again because that'll give the bottom of it a little flare. And what I want to do is just cut off a bit so I leave a border where I'll be able to tape this. So what I think I will do is run the top. So the tallest presents, you can put the tip of that at 1 3/4. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got my paper lined up down the page. Put this down, press down, give it a cut, and there you go. And I selected this paper because I thought it almost looked like gift wrap. So how fun is that? You can set your trimmer aside again. So I've got this gift wrap border, and I think what I'm going to do is this will be the front of my crown, the one where you've snipped off the 2 ends. So I'm going to actually tape this on here on the bottom. So again, I'll use my repositionable tape runner because I want to get, make sure you've got the ends of all these little presents with some tape on them so it'll stick down. You want stuff to stick really well. And then go along, give your border some tape. And I would make sure that you're taping this pretty well because once you make the hat and it's in that rounded shape, you want to make sure that it's sticking down. So I'm just going to line this up on the edge and tape it down. So how fun is that? Now, I think what I'm going to do just to save time right now is I'm only going to decorate the front of my crown. But if I were making this for somebody, I would cut out a second one of these and run it across the back so it matches. So now you have all of this fun stuff on here. And that's where then I'm going to put on some of these fun border stickers from Creative Memories. And I think what I want is for it to say, happy birthday across the top of it. So I'm going to pull off one of these border stickers, and I think that what I'll use is the blue and green, or I could maybe use the red. I think the red will pop, so why don't we use the red? So these just pull right up. I love these border stickers. And again, you just want to be careful to try to get them straight. So I'm going to run this along here. So just kind of lining it with the top of your paper as you go along right under those cakes. And again, it's tricky for me to get things straight, but there you go. So that ran down the length of your paper. So, I mean, that would be probably festive enough if that was what you wanted. But they've also got, these fun, different, blue and these like confetti things. Over here, we've got a row of cupcakes. You could have just, instead of cutting out this, you could have used this border that says happy birthday and just put that along. But I think what I may do is put a row of cupcakes along the bottom of my presents, just because I think that would be fun. So again, you just want to try to make sure as you go along that you're aligning it with your paper So it's not going at a diagonal or crooked. So there you go. We've got that. Now, you could also use the Creative Memories letter stamps and stamp the the birthday boy or birthday girl's name on here. You could use a pen and write that on. You could actually get some of the sprinkle scissor stickers and put some of those on to decorate it, pop the bubbly, happy birthday. I mean, you can put all sorts of different things on there, but I think for now, I'm just going to leave this here. So the next piece is going to be just putting your crown together. So here I'm going to use my regular tape runner. Again, that just sticks a little bit more. You'll see it kind of puts things along. So first put this side together. And again, this aligns right underneath. Just get your cakes kind of going together. Make sure you got it straight. Now, if it seems like it's not going to stick together or you've got kind of rambunctious kids, you could use a stapler and just put a couple of staples in to make sure that is going to hold. And if you do it kind of, in the right spot, it's hardly noticeable. So I'm just going to do that. Again, it just reinforces and keeps that together. And so now we're going to tape the other end together. So we'll use our tape runner and just run down a pretty solid line of tape there. Again, we want to make sure this really sticks and stays together. So you just put your crown together, and again, you want to make sure that you're lining up the cake and the top of the paper to overlap correctly. And again, I just use that stapler there. Try to get your staple someplace where it won't be too noticeable. Coming on this side, and I think it's kind of fun if you just do it right below. Makes it look almost like part of the decoration. So there we go. We have our happy birthday crown. And again, I probably would put the person's name on there. And the crown actually matches the birthday card. You could do matching invitations. And then once you have your pictures, you could make matching use your scrapbook pages that match to scrapbook and preserve your memories of the whole event. So I thought my tape runner was my mouse. Let me go back here and just stop this spotlight and pull myself up so I can see you. So here we go. This is your birthday crown. Doesn't fit that easily over my headset, but hopefully you'll have fun making one of these crowns too. If you do, please go to the Making Memories with Leanna VIP Facebook page and post a picture of you or your birthday person in their hat. Thanks so much and have a great day.